Hey, what's going on, everyone? Sly here with Flo. Flo, day 16 of training camp, the dog days of summer, and Brock Purdy, his best performance. That connection looked like it's happening between Brock Purdy and Deebo Samuel. We were hearing from, Matt Barrows, that Brock Purdy went 21 from 25. Absolutely amazing day. 3 balls that he missed, he just threw them away because there was no one open. And then we were hearing from, I believe, Nick Wagner. His first 8 passes were completions. And then, Matt Mayoko was saying that, I believe, 8 catches were from Deebo Samuel. It's looking like it's going to be a big year for Deebo Samuel, man. That connection really hasn't happened between Brock Purdy and Deebo yet. It's been I think he had 800 yards, but I think it might be that 1,400-yard season from 2021. He's looking great. He's looking lean out there. What do you think, man? Is he going to be the number 1 receiver? Are they going to have that connection this year? It's looking good so far. What do you think, man?
Yeah, man. I think this is going to be a Deebo Samuel similar to when he carried us to that NFC Championship run on the offensive side of the ball. I think we're going to have that kind of Deebo Samuel this year just because ever since his offseason, man, he took that Super Bowl. It seems like he took it personally. He came out probably the best shape that I've ever seen Deebo Samuel come into camp, and he came to camp early. So that's always a good sign when they're there from day one, you know, that they mean business. And this is also the first time that he's really actually getting a camp with Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Obviously, that one year he sat out, and then obviously Brock Purdy was 4th on the depth chart in his rookie year, so he wasn't getting any of those snaps. Last year he was hurt at the beginning of it, and it always takes Brock Purdy a little while to kind of catch fire. Even last camp, early on he was throwing those picks. Yeah. By the time the season was approaching, he dials it up, he cleans up his stuff, he takes those shots. He always says, he's like, hey, I'm willing to go risk throwing these passes right now, that way I can figure out what I could throw later on during the regular season. Guy's smart, the kid's smart, and man, I'm amped to see these two, what their connection is going to be like, because last year he had this kind of chemistry with Brandon Ayuk, and they had a huge season.
Huge year.
So I think that this is going to translate to Deebo Samuel having a big year.
Yeah, I think he has a chance of being the number 1 guy this year, just because they've had that connection. And later on in camp in August, man, it's looking like this connection is really heating up. 8 passes today completed between these 2 guys. So he really feels comfortable with them. Last year, who was his bread and butter? It was Ayuk. This year, it's looking like it's Deebo Samuel, man. It's absolutely looking amazing what these 2 guys are doing right now. And Brock Purdy, one thing that he did in the offseason, what did he gain? He gained a lot of muscle. And we were seeing early on in camp, he was overthrowing guys. And so I think that he had to get some adjusting to it, that extra muscle. But now it looks like he's hitting these deep passes. Remember, the first deep pass that he hit was to Deebo Samuel that same day when he got McCaffrey, those 2 long 40-yard bombs. And it looks like it's happening, man, where these guys are they have that chemistry going on. And I believe Brandon Ayuk will be signed, but I don't think he's going to be the number 1 guy, man. Last year, we both kept saying Brandon Ayuk will be the number 1 guy, and they were on fire together last offseason. Now it's Deebo Samuel, and I believe it was Matt Barrows. It was Matt Barrows or Mayoko that were saying that he got a nice touchdown together today too. So, I mean, he's going to be looking for him early and often. So that 1,400-yard season, it looks like it might happen. It might actually happen again for Deebo Samuel. He's playing with a chip on his shoulder. He knows that what happened this offseason, how they're saying this might be your last year and this and that. But if he has another big season, he might be with us the rest of his contract, last 2 years. So I love what I see with these guys. And Brock Purdy's had a great camp. He's had a really great camp. Obviously, he's been throwing some interceptions. That one day where he threw 4. But overall, he's making plays every day making plays. So I love what I'm hearing about it, and I think it's going to be another great season for Brock. He's not going to regress, I don't think, personally, the way Jimmy G did. Remember after that Super Bowl a lot, he just freaking regressed. He got hurt a lot. All this stuff used to happen, and it wasn't working out with Brock Purdy. It looks different. The way he's talking, the way he changed his body to say, I want to make sure to be stronger, bigger, faster. I mean, he's putting in the work, just like Deebo Samuel. We were seeing Deebo Samuel. He wasn't out at his mom's house. Remember those stories where he was eating that mac and cheese? That looked delicious, by the way. It looked amazing, but completely different this offseason for Deebo Samuel. So both these guys have been training their ass off, and it's gonna pay off, man. It happens all the time, like when you're going out, you're a young kid, you dressing a little better for that one chica out there, that one beautiful girl. You put yourself out there, you train, you're out there buying the nice clothes, you're going to the gym more, you're doing that. That's what these guys are doing, and it's going to pay off, man. I'm talking Pro Bowl for Purdy, Pro Bowl for Deebo. I'm calling it right now. I really think it's going to be a Pro Bowl year for Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, man, I think so too. Especially because, let's face it, Christian McCaffrey is also a little bit hurt, so I think we're going to use Deebo Samuel a lot, like in that that was a 2021 season where we used him in so many different ways. Obviously, we don't want to overwork him where he gets injured, but I think his body this year is capable of that kind of workload just because the fact that is he's ready. The last couple of seasons, we kind of tried to use him like that, but he kept getting hurt because he wasn't healthy.
He wasn't in shape.
Now he's ready. I think he is going to have that Pro Bowl season again, and he's going to be our wide receiver 1 for sure.
And one thing I did like, after the practice, Brandon Ayuk was there. He was watching practice, and Deebo came out to him, gave him a hug, and then Brandon Ayuk was watching that practice because he watched the full practice we were here, and he was like, fudge, man, these guys are on fire. Imagine adding me again to the mix, And Jawan Jennings. And that's what we were hearing from Brock Purdy, that Brock Purdy, early on in training camp, he was throwing the guys that just weren't making plays, from Danny Gray, Latu. But today, what did he focus on? He focused on his go-to guys, his guys that he believes in. Deebo Samuel, Jawan Jennings, Kyle Juszczyk, George Kittle. Those were like the big 4, and that's where he kept going over and over and over to. So he trusts those guys, and I think it's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be fireworks out there. And add in Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk might have to take a seat to the number 2 guy, because right now what we're seeing with these 2 guys right now, it's working. And early on in training camp, we were hearing that Deebo Samuel was struggling to beat man. He was struggling. He was getting toasted by Lenore and Charvarius Ward. Now today we saw what happened. Lenore was trying his best. Lenore was locking everyone else down. But when it came to Deebo Samuel today and these last few, he's been getting the better of him because he's been working his ass off, and fortune favors the brave. So I love it, man. What I'm seeing, gonna be a big year. I truly believe, and I don't think we're gonna have that knockoff year where all the time you lose a Super Bowl and it's over, man. You're just dealing with all this crap. I just don't see it, because I think our leaders out there want to get better. It starts with Brock Purdy, and if he has a guy like Deebo who's ready to go, hey man, I'll take it.
Yeah, man, and it seems like Brock Purdy, like you said earlier, he's not going to have that Super Bowl hangover like Jimmy G, just because the way his mindset works, it always seems like he's next play up, even though obviously he understands what he did, but he knows how to correct it, and he doesn't let himself like sulk in. And Jimmy G, you knew once you threw that first pick, you knew pick number 2 and 3 were coming ASAP.
We heard Jimmy G over this off season with all the stuff he's saying. Oh, over here at the Rams, you could be who you are. It's like, what's that, man? Like, not date porn stars? Or, I don't know. That was kind of weird. That to me was like, oh gosh, Jimmy G, whatever. Brock Purdy, he's not like that in the media. It's just he's focused, respectful to everyone out there, high praise to all the coaches and everything. And I love it, man. I feel that it's just a great kid, and he just wants to win that damn Super Bowl. So I think he's going to do it. I think he's the one that's going to get it done for us.
All right. Well, you guys let us know in the comments what you guys think about this Brock Purdy, Deebo Samuel connection. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. See y'all next time.
Peace.